Texas Rangers came into this trade deadline already as one of the best teams in the MLB with a 60-45 record with the 4th best record in the MLB and 1st in the AL West, but with only a 1.5 game lead in their division over the 2nd place Houston Astros, the Rangers have been pulling off some huge deals to give them an even better shot at pulling away with the AL West crown and maybe the best record in the AL. The Rangers feature an offense that is headlined by names like Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Josh Young, Jonah Heim, and Adolis Garcia, who lead an offense that has 10 players that have over a 110 OPS plus, along with a great pitching staff that featured an ace in Nathan Eovaldi, who has had a great year with a 2.69 ERA and 2 good pitchers behind him, and Dan Dunning, who has a 3.28 ERA, and John Gray with a 3.66. The bullpen and the back end of the starting rotation were an issue though, but before the All-Star break, they made a move also bringing in one of the best lefties in the MLB in Aroldis Chapman. This would help with a bullpen that is bottom half of the league in bullpen ERA, but the 2 moves that have come within the last 24 hours are the moves that may have just pushed the Rangers over the line and turned them into the best team in baseball. Now before you drop a comment saying, well, what about the Braves, Rays, and Orioles? I know how good those teams are, but let me at least talk about these trades first, and then I'll say why I think the Rangers are better. The Rangers started yesterday with still having Martin Perez and Andrew Heaney as their back-end starters, and now these two haven't been awful, but they still were both the league average with a 4.98 ERA and a 4.62 ERA. This is why the Rangers went out and brought in Max Scherzer yesterday. Now I'll talk more about the deal for the Mets in my deadline video that I'm going to release after the trade deadline, but looking at it for the Rangers, they just added a generational Cy Young candidate who is on a down year as of now, posting only a 4.01 ERA, but we all know what Max Scherzer can do, and he has had a below 3.8 ERA in his last 13 seasons, along with bringing in 3 Cy Young awards and 8 All-Star appearances. You would like to think that he still has some in the tank, as even last season he posted a 2.29 ERA. Even looking at some of his expected stats, they show that his ERA may not show the full story as expected, as his expected ERA is at 3.65, and this is due to him still having good percentile stats. If you take a look at the Baseball Savant page, you can see a lot of promising things that you can hope Scherzer can take advantage of to boost this Rangers pitching staff. So they added one good starter that's having his worst year in 13 years. What's so big about that? Well, they went out and added another one along with a good bullpen arm. Jordan Montgomery is probably the 2nd best lefty on the market behind Blake Snell, who I wouldn't be surprised that the Rangers definitely tried to bring in and couldn't, but they still brought in the 2nd best option, who's currently having his best season in the big leagues with his 3.42 ERA. Bringing in Montgomery also helps squeeze out the previous 2 lefties, Martin Perez and Andrew Heaney, and as a Cardinals fan, I can tell you the Rangers are getting a lot better lefty than those 2. Montgomery has been great this year, but I can't be hypocritical and not talk about Montgomery's expected stats like I did Scherzer's. The expected stats for Montgomery don't favor him very much, as he is expected to fall back and post a 4.26 ERA, and that's due to the blue circles on his Baseball Savant page that don't show how good Montgomery is, but Montgomery has proven that this doesn't always turn out to be correct. At his last year, he was expected to have a 4.06 ERA, but finished the year with a 3.48. In this deal as well, they also brought in Chris Stratton from the Cardinals, who's been pretty league average with a 4.36 ERA and 53 2/3 innings, which is around a 99 ERA plus, but his FIP is way lower than his ERA is at 3.06, so you hope that in the expected stats area, they do pull through for Chris Stratton, and the Rangers turn out to get a way better reliever than it says on paper. With these 2 starters added plus the bullpen arm, this rotation now has 5 starters, all with a better ERA plus than 100, along with their offense that, like I said, has 10 batters with over a 110 OPS plus. The part that scares me for the Rangers is that bullpen that is 13th in the American League, which is why I hope they can find more bullpen arms before the deadline on Tuesday. If they can, they could easily make a case for the best team in baseball behind one of the most high-powered offenses in baseball, along with the best run differential at 155, plus filling spots that are of concern. That is why I have them giving the edge over the Braves, Orioles, and Rays, and especially over the Rays and Orioles in the AL, and I think this team could finish with the best AL record. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.